month after Xi Jinping positioned himself as the presumed leader of China for life, there is an unprecedented public outpouring against his government's zero-COVID policy. What started in Urumqi spread to anger online and then offline, with thousands taking to the roads against the communist regime in the country and calling for Xi to step down. Chinese universities are now sending students home as the ruling Communist Party tightens anti-virus controls and tries to prevent more protests. People in China who attended weekend protests against COVID restrictions say that they have been contacted by the police as authorities begin clamping down. Several people in Beijing said that the police had called demanding information about their whereabouts. With the police out in force, there was no word of protests today in Beijing, Shanghai, or any other major cities. The government eased some antivirus restrictions on Monday in a possible effort to diffuse public anger following the weekend protests in at least 8 cities. But the ruling party affirmed its zero-COVID strategy, which has confined millions of people to their homes in an attempt to isolate every infection. Although Tsinghua University, Xi's alma mater, where students protested on Sunday, and other schools in Beijing and the southern province of Guangdong said that they were protecting students from COVID-19, but the move to send back the students to their homes far away seems to be a step towards reducing the likelihood of more activism in the country. Some universities arranged buses to take students to train stations. They said that the classes and final exams would be conducted online. We will arrange for willing students to return to their hometowns, Beijing Forestry University said on its website. It said that its faculty and students all tested negative for the virus. Campuses were hotbeds of activism during the last push for democratic reforms in the 1980s, culminating in the 1989 student-led movement centered on Beijing's Tiananmen Square that was crushed by the army, and once again universities were a major center of protests. By sending students home, authorities hope to defuse the situation, said Dali Yang, an expert in Chinese politics at the University of Chicago. On Tuesday morning, police could be seen in both Beijing and Shanghai patrolling areas where some groups on the Telegram messaging app had suggested people should gather again. A small protest in the southern city of Hangzhou on Monday night was also quickly stopped, with people swiftly arrested, according to the social media footage verified by the BBC. Authorities have ordered mass testing and imposed other controls in areas across China following the spike in infections. But the move to disperse students was unusual at a time when many cities are telling the people to avoid travel and imposing controls on movement. This past weekend, protests ranged in over 50 Chinese university campuses, according to a list shared online, and hundreds of people took the streets in Beijing and Shanghai. Protesters have simply turned to hold up blank sheets of paper to express anger against COVID-19 restrictions, which serves as both a smart and effective way to evade censorship while showing solidarity. The blank white paper was a way of saying a lot by saying nothing at all.
Subscribe to One India channel and never miss an update.